Everyone close your little peepers and calm your mind for a moment. I want you to think about your relationship with life right now. Is it perfect? Is there something left to be desired? Do you wish you could be happy? Do you ever wish you could go back to your Club Penguin igloo and feed your Puffle one more chocolate chip cookie? Because I've been feeling that every goddamn day. Everyone starts feeling this way once they grow up. We all crave this perfect life and this perfect moment that'll make us feel like this thing we call life is somehow worth it.
Yeah, I like a guy who's 5'7".
But I've found it's really hard to live a good life when you're constantly craving the ultimate high. It leaves more and more desire rooting through our bodies. So I've been looking into different mindsets that'll help me try and combat this feeling of dissatisfaction. And I've come across the word interdependence, which in layman terms means attending to the wishes and concerns of others, focusing on the social context and the emotions of other people in their group, and seeing one's emotions as originating through interactions with other people in one's environment. But what the frick does that mean? I'm not a mathematical genius, I hear you say in your tiny small brain. Luckily for you, I've been reading this heck of a slapper recently. So come with me, and let's learn what interdependence really means. Interdependence is more practiced in East Asian regions, and especially in Buddhism. But before we focus solely on this new mindset, we have to talk about what mindsets people think in, which can essentially be brought down to 3 categories. The ceramic model. Oh gosh, oh geez, yikes. Mom always said don't play ball in the house.
I'll be grounded.
The ceramic model goes out to J-Dog, big G up in the sky. This is the belief that some almighty being placed you on this earth. And while this makes us feel like we're meant to learn, be tested, and complete a specific purpose, it also makes us feel very guilty at times. You think of J-Dog up in that cross, and he says, I'm dying for all the dirty little things you've done. But what have you done for J-Dog? And we feel like shit. You feel like you yourself have placed J-Dog up on that cross, and we feel guilty for even existing. It's quite a monarchical theory of the universe. The idea of God was a fine way to think. It brought everyone importance and meaning to their life. But some people feel embarrassed with the idea of knowing that Big G has seen every little thing that you've done. Yes, I unironically learned a TikTok dance, but that was one time. One time. But in order to get rid of this ooey gooey, icky sicky feeling, we all decided to become atheists. Which brings me to my next mindset. The automatic model. And while it may feel freeing to no longer have this dependency on God, it means that your entire life is up to you. Your entire life is up to you. We start thinking that we just happened to land where we are today. By pure chance, you were sitting here watching this video. Okay, by the way, thanks for sticking around, my guy. But with this new mindset, we feel no importance at all. Symbols start becoming more valuable than reality. For instance, you buy something and you get depressed because this symbolic piece of paper has left your possession. But in reality, we've traded this for food, clothes, and Club Penguin memberships. The world is constantly fighting us, and we better fight back. And if you don't have that resentment in you all the time, then the world will gobble you up. You have a very limited time to make your mark between being a stupid baby and dying. And that mark makes us think, oh fuck, what can I do? And that makes us miserable. With the ceramic model, we felt guilty because J-Dog made us feel this way. But with the automatic model, you feel guilty because you yourself haven't made a significant mark. We think about that mark we must leave, and we become convinced that the easiest way to do that is crime. You get your picky taken, you appear in court, Netflix makes a documentary and a fiction film about you, and then everyone sees you. You feel that if it's not recorded, then what's the point? But then once you leave that significant mark, you start thinking, well, is the mark big enough? Did I do enough to make myself known in the existence of it all? And that makes us panic more. If you identify yourself as a troubleshooter, then you define yourself as living in a perpetual state of anxiety. In the same way, when we feel happy, we feel this overwhelming, bubbly self of enjoyment. And that in and itself is a reward. But what if you were happy and you didn't know it? What's the point? And so we feel that life is a trap imposed on us by God or fate or the cosmic mechanism. And so we live out our lives as poor little me. However, what if I were to tell you that there's a way to not make you feel like a piece of shit all the time? May I present to you the dramatic model, aka being interdependent. This is probably going to sound like some open your third eye bullshit, but trust me and listen to what I have to say. The individual and the world don't interact. The relationship is transactional. The world wiggles, and we wiggle back. Me having a conversation cannot be done unless I have someone else in the equation. It requires you. We're all connected to each other, and while we try to tell ourselves that there's something alienating us, it's our own fault for feeling that way. Your whole being is what connects you to the world, and the world connects with you. It took billions of years for humans to actually arrive on this world, but that doesn't mean we're not meant to be a part of it. Just because the buffalo bush doesn't have buffaloes growing on it, doesn't mean that it's not a buffalo bush. A planet with people on it is a planet made for people. We came out of this planet just like that buffalo bush. We weren't brought into it as if we didn't belong. Death implies life. Hot implies cold. Yes implies no. Black implies white. We fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. Your existence is fundamental, and in turn makes my existence fundamental. I want you to try and consider the following. Your peepers are what give the sun light. Your soft skin is what makes wood hard. You call all of this into the universe. We all do. We are able to do so many incredible things without a single thought to it. We can grow out our hair, open and close our hands, inhale and exhale oxygen. We don't know how to explain how we do these things, we just do them. You are wonderfully complex, and your body is continuous with the stars. It's all you. And for some people, when they realize these ideas, they think of themselves as being God. And if you look at it that way, you need to realize that we all are. We all intertwine and make each other move, and you start to find love, intelligence, and beauty in everyone around you. So here's the age-old question. Why do we want to be happy? Why do we strive for this thing that's virtually impossible? Or is it? What if I were to tell you that this moment, this exact moment, is absolute bliss? Thanks again for sticking around, my guy. This video that you're watching on my channel right now, absolute bliss. But just think that all those moments we claim to be everyday consciousness, instead, they're all total euphoria. We're just pretending otherwise. And I must admit, this point feels a little stretched. I mean, come on, there's fires happening in Australia right now. They're surely not skipping through koala fields and eating a burger at Macca's. I mean, how do you even eat a hamburger upside down? Australians are crazy. But the world is really okay. Otherwise it couldn't exist. You think about how us humans have lived out our lives, and you realize that this is what we have brought ourselves into. Sure, it's not ideal, but we collectively have brought ourselves to this moment. We either accept it in a state of consciousness bliss, or we point fingers and say that God did this, or the universe hates us all and it's our job to defy it and pretend like nature is out to get us all the time. It's only when we claim ourselves responsible. That's when we realize that whether this life was a comedy or a tragedy, we did it. This is all just a re-examination of our common sense. We're not victims of a mechanical world, nor were we placed here to feel worthy of achieving happiness in the next life. You have already achieved happiness. You competing with the universe just proves that you don't know that you are the universe.
Well, in a few years, it will be a matter of common sense to very many people that they're one with the universe. It'll be so simple. And then maybe, if that happens, we shall be in a position to handle our technology with more sense, with love instead of with hate, for our environment.